recording on this computer.
This meeting is being recorded.
All right, this meeting is being recorded. Let me share my screen and we'll do some introductions. We're not going to be able to go through and introduce everybody and have everybody talk tonight. That's not really what this event is about. This event really is about making sure that everybody knows that we have a trip packet. We have some things that everybody needs to do before we start our trip. We're super excited. I mean, 30 guys, 27 guys on 3 houseboats at Lake Powell is a monumental feat. I'm sure John's going to probably go, yes, it is. John, we have our houseboat captains. You can see John there with Julio. John's been on Lake Powell for going on. I'm not going to date you, John, but I know you've been doing this for 20 years. So
exactly.
Yeah, and Boyd's been doing this for over 20 years as well. Boyd's going to be one of our houseboat captains. And then me, I've been wanting to do this all the time. I've done it a couple times, but I don't have quite the experience they have, but I do have experience getting people together and doing research and bringing people together on events. So we have a really good group of people that are going to really make this happen. And what's really important about this trip to Lake Powell is that this is not a vacation or a tour where you just kind of sit back and do nothing. This is an actual adventure where we're all going to get our hands maybe even a little bit dirty, and that's okay. It's going to be a lot of fun and it's going to be worth it. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on going through the packet. If anybody has not seen our trip packet, it is in most of the information that we sent over. Let's see, I will send it out again via, you guys are all getting the emails. If not, you can hold off on questions and just let me know if you guys aren't getting some communication and things like that at the end, along with the questions. If anybody's taking notes and they come up with some questions, please write those down and we'll just do those at the end. And I'll just keep it so that this doesn't end up being an hour long. So welcome anybody that's joined. We're just starting to go through the packet. Tonight is if you guys can mute yourself until the end, that would be awesome. If all of you guys can put yourself on mute. We've got some feedback coming through and a couple of phones ringing, so that'd be awesome. So we are going to have a couple pre-events that are going to happen before our trip, and these are totally optional. Of course, tonight's one. Welcome. And then we're also going to have a pool party in the Hollywood Hills if anybody's close or wants to attend that on September 18th. That's the week before we go to Lake Powell. This will be an opportunity for us to gather, get together, talk about the trip, any last minute things. So of course, that's totally optional. You'll start seeing some of that through CJA, but definitely you guys are welcome. Even if the event sells out, let me know and we'll get you guys into that event. Meal planning and shopping. So these are a few updates. So we're going to go through the meal plan and things like that on this call. I am looking for a couple people that are close to LA. Kevin's probably going to help me, maybe one other person to go to Costco and Ralph's. Sometimes we just need some help with some hands to help with this. We can come up with the dates probably a couple days before in the evening and go buy all the food. So we're gonna have several ice chests that we're going with. We're trying to make meals that don't require a lot of refrigeration, but we will need some, like milk and juice and things like that. But if anybody's willing, let me know. Anybody that's close to me, I'm in El Segundo, and we could use a couple hands to do that. We rented a vehicle, a van that has room for those for all the food that we're bringing. So you guys don't have to worry about bringing a bunch of food and stuff, unless you have extra snacks and drinks and all that kind of stuff that you want to bring. You don't have to worry about the main meals, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. Going to run down just kind of this trip packet. I'm going to try to skip over what we're doing, because everybody knows that we're going to be doing water skiing and we're going to be on a lake. We're going to be on houseboats. We've got 3 houseboats. We've got the Journey, the Wanderer, and the Navigator. So everybody has been assigned to a houseboat based on what you booked. So, and it's based on first come, first serve. So the people that book staterooms in the very beginning are on the Journey, and then the Wanderer, and then the Navigator. So we did our best in assigning the boats. If there's any reason why, other than the Navigator, because the Navigator is one that we added on at the end, so people on the Navigator are on that boat. But if for some reason you have an issue or something like that you want to bring up, you can bring it up to me to the side and figure that out. We're going to be driving. Make sure, add this to your guys' to-do list. So you need to make sure that you get yourself to the lake. So this is basically a carpool. There's plenty of opportunity. So within this packet right here, there's a link for the carpools. Make sure you go to that link, find a carpool that you can join, or if you're going to drive, let us know. Don't just not communicate. We need to know that you're going to drive. You don't have to carpool. Some people have plans before or after and maybe want to drive by themselves. But if you can, please communicate with me and just let me know that you're going to drive yourself, or else we're going to be worried and probably calling you anyways and figuring it out. So if you can, please do that. There's going to be plenty of opportunity for carpools. Kevin's going to drive the van. So we have a van with 8 spots. And then we also have my SUV that has 6 spots. So we have plenty of opportunity to get into those carpools. We also have other members that have already put their cars on there that have room. Jim and John and Julio and some of these other guys have offered spots in their vehicles as well. So make sure you get on there and do that sooner than later. The next area was just going to be, this is not your typical cruise. I should probably blow this up a little.
Hey, Chris, can I interject real quick? It's Jim.
Sure.
Hey, so yeah, regarding the carpool, so like my car filled up, right? Like 3 people have signed up to ride with me. When I got notified, it actually doesn't provide me with like contact information for the folks that signed up for my car. So I actually just put my email address in the chat window here. So if the guys that signed up for my car want to email me, that way we can communicate with each other in advance.
Okay. And on the carpools, when you sign up your car, you should be able to enter your name, your address, your email address, your phone number, and all of that stuff in there. So they should be able to get that through there as well.
Okay, cool. And I did. So that information is there for folks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just as a quick aside, guys. So Jim, I'm actually looking at the carpool site right now.
Who's speaking?
Arthur DeCosta. Sorry, I'm not on video. I'm looking at the carpool site. You can actually pull up the contact information. What you have to do is you go on the carpool site, click on the details button, and then it shows the names of the people in your car. Just click their names and a little window comes up with their contact information.
And we can go over that separately as well, Jim, but thanks for bringing that up.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so the next one is, a big piece of Lake Powell is we're not going to the Four Seasons. We're not going to a hotel. We're not going to be waited on, a hand and foot. So this is going to be super fun, but it's not your typical cruise. We are the crew. We are the ones that are going to make this work. And it's also an adventure. A lot of things happen. You can have a storm pop up. You can have toilets stop working or back up. You can have, people get overly drunk, and we don't want that, of course, but things happen. So we are the masters of our own adventure, and we are all in this together, and we're going to work together as teams. So we have 3 teams with 3 houseboats, and we'll go over those. But just want to make sure that we understand that we're all gonna pitch in. We're going to make this work. We have 3 captains that have experience that are going to be driving the houseboat. You're not going to be out there, alone. We're all going to work together to make this work. So there is a link here. Click here to see the meals, duties, gear sign-up sheet. So I'm going to switch over to that just real quick. So when you switch over to that, I made that too big. You'll see different places where you can sign up for duties. So this is the kind of instructions right here. What we want to do is just give people an idea of what's needed on the boat, on the houseboat. Everybody should be helping with some job duties and cooking and cleaning. If you're using the bathroom, just clean up after yourself. Nobody is going to have bathroom duty. So if you're using the bathroom and then you make a mess, just clean up after yourself. We've got a little bit, the attendees are right here on the houseboats, which we'll go over on the packet as well. But here's our attendees and the staterooms they're in. So you'll see that. Navigator, we'll actually talk a little bit separately on that as well. Houseboat jobs. So here's some houseboat jobs that you can sign up for. And the jobs include the captain, Boyd, for example, and John and myself. We're the captains of the boat. And Jeffrey. Jeffrey Lehman, the captains of the boat. Kevin, we call it the first mate, but basically everybody else is just going to be helping. So we're going to need help when we park the boat, getting the anchors out, putting the anchors on shore. One or two people can't do this, and we'll all talk when we get on the houseboat, and we'll go over exactly how we're going to do it, when we're going to do it. It's actually a really good, fun team building experience to do this together. Organization, when we're underway with the boat, we want to make sure that things are clear and put away, that we clean up, and then safety and first aid, just in case, people know where the life vests are, the radio, the first aid kit, those kind of things. So we'd really like we want to have people have these assigned roles on each houseboat, just in case shit happens, because it does. All right. The next area that you can sign up is meal planning. So if anybody wants to come help me, I think we did have Kevin here, so we're going to put Kevin there as well. If anybody wants to get involved also in actually creating like that shopping list, I think we have. I'm going to go over that in just a minute. We're not going to go out through every detail, but if somebody does want to get involved in that, go help shopping, please let me know. Just, touch base. And then also for each houseboat, you'll see here that we have each day we have different jobs for breakfast organization and coffee. If you're someone that gets up early and you want to help kind of put out the muffins and get pancakes together and things like that, that's a job. Lunch organization, that's going to be kind of like people can have lunch and their wraps and sandwiches and that whenever they want. But if someone, you guys decide on your ship, when you're going to do that. Maybe Pat here, who signed up on the journey, is going to put it out at noon. Maybe you guys decide that, somebody doesn't want to eat lunch until 2 o'clock. So it's all put away. They can get their stuff out of the fridge. These aren't big deals. Cooking dinner now is a different thing. If we're going to have burgers, it's nice to have 3 people who are assigned on Sunday and Tuesday to cook dinner, and then 3 people who are assigned on Monday and Wednesday to cook dinner. You guys, this is just like when we do our camping trips. It doesn't mean that those 3 people are the only people that can help. These are the people that are kind of like leading it. So if other people are still in the kitchen and they want to help chop onions or whatever you're doing, everybody can pitch in. But we want to have people that are specifically assigned so that we can have some kind of order, if you will. We'll actually have this printed out for each of the boats as well. Cleanup, again, same thing. It's not fun when you're in a houseboat or when you're camping or any of those places when all the dishes build up and one person has to take care of it all. So we have some cleanup spots as well. So sign up for those cleanup spots, sign up for a cooking spot. And then there's a couple things that we need people to kind of bring. I've got most of the ice chests for the food. So we're going to be able to bring the food in my ice chest that I already have. And then we're going to distribute those into the full-size refrigerators that are in the houseboats. The houseboats also come with one large white, one of those big white, probably 120 or 150 quart ice chests up on the front. So we can use those. But if you're going to bring some drinks and you're going to want to have extra ice, I think it's nice to have, those, if you guys are familiar with, if anybody has those rolling ice chests, those kind of blocky ones, those are great because we can fit 3 or 4 bags of ice in there. And ice is kind of one of those things where it's kind of comes at a premium because we have to go all the way back to the marina to get it. So if we had 2 or 3 extra ice chests that we can fit into vehicles and stuff, let's sign up for those if you have one. And then the rest of the stuff we're pretty much I'm bringing pride flags, decorations, but I'm just saying that if you guys want to chat on your boat and bring things and make your boat look fun, you can do that as well. And that's pretty much it. Does anybody, since we're on this list, does anybody have any specific questions about the list?
Yeah, I do. In particular, I think we talked about it quickly, Chris, regarding like I'm a vegetarian. So I wouldn't mind being in charge of bringing some vegetarian food and picking that out and making sure those options exist. If I'm the only one, I can work around that, but I thought I'd put that out there.
Yeah, so I'm gonna actually mention that when I go over the meal plan in just a minute. But Michael, you are in the Wanderer. So you're on the houseboat with me and John and Julio. And so we can all talk, and we have our own separate chat. So I created a chat for each boat. It's on the CGA website. We can maybe bring it up there and we can just talk within our boat. So each boat is going to get their own allotment of food, and we're all going to make our meals separately. Even though we're probably going to eat at the same time. It just makes sense. There's no way you can fit 27 people on one houseboat. So we're all going to do our own meals separately. And if someone is vegetarian like yourself, Michael, and maybe there's a couple others that are vegetarian. I'm trying to look and see it because I know everybody. I don't think so.
It might be the only one, yeah.
So, but
I'm not vegan. I'm not vegan, so
yeah, I know there's a lot of
cheese and all that stuff.
There is a lot of meat and stuff, so you just bring stuff that complements maybe what we're eating. You know.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, totally. I get it. Anybody else? All right, let's jump back into. Let's jump back over here. So, all right. Transportation, we talked about that. If you guys are bringing any toys, we already know who's bringing power boats. That's a very, very important piece. Boyd has his boat, John and Julio have their boat, and then we did rent a boat as well. So we have 3 power boats, which are going to be our ski boats. So we actually have 6 boats, if you will, 3 houseboats and 3 power boats. So if anybody else is bringing toys like kayaks, especially hard-sided kayaks like the big ones, please let me know so we can plan that. If you're bringing an inflatable paddleboard, totally cool. You know, we have plenty of room for that. If you're bringing anything hard-sided or anything that's really big, let us know so we can just kind of plan ahead for that. But we definitely recommend bringing those paddle boards. It's beautiful and the water in the mornings is just absolutely glass. So it's going to be nice to have those. Rick, bring your paddle board. All right. So camping location, we didn't really get into this too far because I know you guys don't really care. It's those of us that have the experience on Lake Powell. The issue that we've run into right now, and this is when I'll talk to Kurt about your question, is the lake is low. It's not so low that we can't boat on it though. So we have plenty of water. The lake's hundreds of feet deep, 100 miles long, 1,000 miles of shoreline. We have plenty of room to go explore. However, a couple of the places where you used to be able to get gas and ice and things like that have closed because they were located in areas where they just don't have them anymore. So we are going to have to be a little bit closer to the marinas so we can run back, get fuel, get ice. So we're planning on going about 20 to 25 miles from the marina and setting up camp. That's what we decided on the captain. Probably doesn't mean anything to most of you, but a lot of times in the past you'd go 50, 60 miles back. We are going to have opportunity to go back into the lake with our boats though, with our power boats. So number one, it's going to save gas. Number two, it's going to allow us to be a little bit closer to the marina so we can go back in and get ice or whatever supplies we need to do that. Can you guys still hear me okay? I kind of hear a little bit of feedback.
Yeah, everybody should probably.
Yeah, you're coming clear.
All right. If you guys can, just mute your phones or mute because I think it's coming from somebody else. All right. So I'm not going to go through all this, what's included. You guys can read that on your own. We do have, I did add a trampoline, just so you guys know. We have a 15-foot wide trampoline coming. So I know that that's probably just asking for problems, but let's not get hurt on it. We did add the third boat, which is right here. And we had a discussion about that. It's a really nice brand new tri-tune. So that's going to be nice for all of us to be able to get back into the back of the lake. So, and we've, now what's not included, of course, we already talked about carpools, parking fees. There is a $30 per vehicle parking fee for Waweep. So it's $30 per vehicle that you'll pay as you enter the park. Alcoholic drinks. If you guys drink alcohol, we are not going to supply any of that. You'll need to bring it yourself. It's totally welcome. I ask people to moderate. But but bring your drinks. If you need it to be refrigerated or ice, you're not going to be able to put it in with food. So we're going to keep the refrigerators with food. If you want to have your alcoholic drinks or your beers on ice, bring your ice chest, or use the other ice chests that we're going to have, and we'll have ice for those. But make sure you bring your own as far as the alcohol. Personal items, of course, this shouldn't even need to be said, but bring your swimsuit, sunscreen, towels, all that kind of stuff. A couple of people actually were surprised about this, but we are going to be back in the lake. So, a decent amount to where you're not going to have any cell phone service, period. As soon as we get through into Navajo Canyon, there's no cell service. So if there's an emergency or something like that, we can get back to Wawee. But if you have to check in at work or anything like that, plan ahead, because you're not going to be able to while we're on the lake. All right.
Chris, if we go back to the marina, is there a service at the marina or no?
Yeah, marina's right near town. Hey, John and Boyd, what about Antelope Marina?
Yeah, there's service there.
There is. Okay. So yeah, we're going to have a few times where the boats will go back to the marina. It's not a time when everybody will go, but if somebody really needs to go make a call or something, let's just communicate, and you'll find out when the next boat is heading back. So I get it. I know what you do. I know what you do, Jim.
I'm not even thinking about work. It's just, it's just a long time to be off the radar. Like, remember when we pulled into the Madonna Inn, and we some of the messages that we got were kind of like important messages, right?
Yeah, I get it.
Big Sur, so
totally, I get it. Okay, so as far as the menu goes, I kind of touched on this a little bit. Check out that sign-up sheet again that I showed you. This right now is the current idea. As I mentioned, if somebody wants to get with me and help me plan this is what we're planning for breakfast. We're going to bring items that we can kind of make as a group or individually make. Some people just like coffee and a muffin in the morning. Other people want to have eggs. You may not be able to have, eggs and bacon and pancakes and muffins and everything every single morning. We're going to make it work, but we're going to have a bunch of breakfast items. Check this out on your own. Lunches, we'll have wraps, we'll have lunch meat, we'll have mustard, tomatoes, lettuce, onions, bread, peanut butter and jelly for sandwiches. But if you have some suggestions, just connect with me. There's no reason to get into a big discussion about that right now. Dinners. We have barbecues on all the boats. The Journey has an amazing hot tub and a huge barbecue center as well. But burgers, pasta salad, and chips on Sunday. Full barbecue chicken. We'll get chicken. We'll get barbecue sauce. We'll marinate it before. We'll actually freeze it before we head out. By the time we eat on Monday, it'll be mostly thawed, I'm sure. And then potatoes, corn on the cob, and salad. And on Tuesday, we'll do a taco and burrito bar. And then on Wednesday night, before we head out the next day, we can do an Italian night with like one pot spaghetti, garlic bread, and Caesar salad. Again, Michael, or anybody else that's a vegetarian or vegan, or gluten-free, make sure that you plan around the menu and bring some items. If you're gluten-free and you don't eat regular spaghetti, get your own small thing of gluten-free spaghetti and bring it with you. All right. I guess I could stop there just for a second. Let's not get way too far into it, but does anybody have comments, questions, concerns?
I have a quick question. Just thinking about how does the electricity on the boat work? I was thinking about the electric ice chest that I have, or freezer, refrigerator, portable unit, if that's worth bringing, or if the electricity is only there when the boat's running, then maybe it's not.
Yeah, so we'll be running the generators probably about 8 hours a day. The generator will run. The rest of the time, the boat does run on 12 volt, which is a big battery setup. So, we will not plan on using air conditioning all night long. That just requires you to have that generator on 24 hours a day. We shouldn't need it. It's in the end of September. The evenings are really cool. It should be really nice, but we'll get, if it ends up being 100 degrees, then we'll do it. It just uses a lot of extra fuel. As far as you're running your fridge.
Like,
It should work fine. It should work fine on the 12 volt, but I would bring it. And if anything, we might have to move a few things into an ice chest if it doesn't work out. I have one of those as well, so I know how they work, but it's worth bringing if you have room for it.
Yeah.
And so I'm assuming there's power plugs around the ship and around the boat, in different staterooms and around the boat, correct?
Yep. There's power, 12 volt or 110 volt power. Regular house power is only going to work when the generators are on, or the inverter. So we can have the inverter on as well. And the inverter will be on probably most of the time. So we just have to. The captains know how to check the voltage. And if we do have things off and it looks like that, we need to crank on the generator, we'll just crank it back on. So, it's kind of like being in an RV.
Yeah. What about music, like speakers? And is that something, if we have them, we should bring to have music available? Or is there?
You know what? That's a really, really good point. There is a sound system. However, I'll add on down at the bottom. If you guys want to bring, if everybody, the thing is, they have sound systems. Are they the greatest? These things have been rentals for years and years and years and years. So you never know how they're going to work. Right. So I'm going to bring my nice sound system thing I can put on the roof during the day when we're having fun. If anybody has those little JBL speakers and stuff, bring them. Bring that stuff. Okay. Because sometimes it's nice to have music in just different areas, and that's totally fine.
Yep.
So I definitely recommend to bring those. It looks like somebody's putting chats in, so I don't know what this is. I guess I should be checking the chats.
I had a question. Are we changing campsites each night, or are we doing one main campsite? And
so a lot of times thanks, Mike. A lot of times if you have one houseboat and you have maybe 8 people, you could easily move 2 or 3 times throughout your trip, because we have 3 houseboats and it's going to be a big feat. We're going to go find one really nice beach and we're going to stay there the whole time. And then we're going to move around with the boats that we have during the days. So we'll still experience the lake. We'll experience the slot canyons. We'll experience all of that, but we are going to keep the boats in the same place for all 4 nights.
And the hiking going on land and doing the hiking, is that like sandals hiking or hiking shoe hiking or tennis shoe hiking?
I would bring whatever shoes you can bring that can get wet. Yeah, I don't think when we do the slot canyon, if it works out, we don't know because of the weight, the level of water right now. If we do the slot canyon, we might not even be able to get to it. But if we can get to it, which I saw people can, I would prefer to have hiking shoes on. I wouldn't do it in flip-flops. Okay, so
the camping, just real quick on the camping, so were we supposed to bring tents as well and things? Or when you say camping, can you just give a little bit more context there?
Who is speaking?
This is Michael again.
Oh, okay. Well, most people have. I can go back up to the staterooms and just kind of go through that. Good point. Did I put them up here, or no? We haven't got to that yet. All right. That's why we're gonna. I think I was going to talk about that in a few minutes. Oh, here we go. I can wait. It's okay. All right. Oh, yeah. We haven't got there yet. Just one moment.
No worries.
Okay, okay, so we talked about food. Loading. Okay, so here's our itinerary. So I'm going to go through this itinerary briefly. So on Saturday we arrive. We're going to do dinner on our own. So there is dinner at the Lake Powell Resort. So you could eat right there. That's probably what our group's going to do in the van and the other, or you can stop, you can go to Page. It's up to you, whatever you want to do. We're not going to have set reservations because everybody's going to show up at different times. We are getting early boarding on the houseboat. So the houseboat, we're getting early boarding. Here's the thing. They can't guarantee that we're getting on at 5 o'clock. However, it usually is between 5 and 6. They only do this because just in case someone gets bitchy at them, that it could be all the way up until 10, 9 o'clock. So we can board up till probably 10. it most likely will get it sometime between 5 and 6. So we just have to be at the Lake Powell Resort. We'll hang out. It's right there across away from the marina. It's really nice. We can just relax. We can have dinner. And once they say that our houseboat's ready, boom, we go check in. We'll check in each captain. We'll check into each houseboat, and then we'll send you guys a message. We'll all get on a message group that, okay, come on down to the marina. There's no reason for all 30 of us to go down there right away. Once we're ready to go down the marina, everybody can bring their gear and their clothes and all that stuff, and we'll load onto the houseboats. In that next morning, they might do it the same night, but typically it's the next morning. They'll do a training and briefing by the marina staff to the captains. And if others want to listen, I think it's a good idea to listen to the briefing so you understand how the houseboat works and what the rules are of the houseboat. And so we'll do that either that night or early the next morning before we leave. On Sunday, and again, let's see. So on Sunday, we'll have an easy breakfast because we're getting ready to get out of there. At around 9 o'clock, we'll depart. And we'll take off. It's going to take us 3 or 4 hours to get to our camping location. So we're going to have moments where we go from Wild Wheat Marina. We're going to go through Antelope Marina, which is a very tight spot where we have to get through, which is going to be really fun. So we might have to have just some lookouts, just helping the captain get through that spot. We're going to have lunch on the lake on our way, easy lunch, and then we'll arrive and anchor the houseboats. That's when we're going to need those anchoring help, people helping put those anchors out. And you'll be trained on exactly what to do. It's not difficult. We'll have dinner and then sunset, and then we'll go through the rest of it. Monday is going to kind of be a hangout day. We'll do a movie night, bring in a big projector where we can all watch a movie on the beach. This is where I'll mention, Michael, what you were talking about. So those that have staterooms, I didn't get a stateroom. You'll have your room. You put your gear in your room, you have all that stuff. Those that have open sleeping. So open sleeping is just a little different. So there's couches. The dinette turns into a bed if you want to deal with turning the dinette into a bed every night. My preference is sleeping on the roof. It's really nice. The weather's typically super nice. There's pads. There's several pads on the top of each houseboat. I'm also bringing my own camping pad. And so you'll be able to sleep there. Now, as far as your gear, when you're doing open sleeping, I'm personally bringing a small little pup tent and I'm putting it on the beach. And I'm going to set it up on the beach. I'm going to put all my stuff down so that I can keep my gear in my pup tent. You don't have to do that. That is absolutely not required. I'm just doing it because I want to have my stuff separated and have a little space that I can call my own. So that's an option, but you are not camping in it unless you really want to. Maybe it's really nice and you want to stay in it. So that's up to you. Otherwise, open sleeping, other than the navigator boat, is on the roof or on any of the couches. Typically, there's, I think, 3, maybe 4 people that are typically doing open sleeping on each boat.
Do you recommend sleeping bags for the open sleepers?
I forgot to mention that. Yes.
And
Definitely.
When you were talking about your gear, what gear are you referring to?
When I say gear, I mean your swimsuit, your clothes that you want to wear, your flip-flops, your hiking shoes, your sunscreen, your bathroom stuff. You know, if you want to bring a tent, bring a tent. If you want to bring a foam pad, bring a foam pad or your camping pad.
So let's say I'm an open sleeper, but I don't have a tent, let's say, and I was going to put I guess what I was going to ask is if most of my stuff, let's say, can fit in a suitcase, like, is that cool or is that going to clutter the boat? Like,
totally cool.
Okay.
You're one of 3 open sleepers that are on your boat, so it's not going to be a big deal. Now, if we have
it's just more about like where the suitcase would go. Like, I don't want to clutter the boat. You know what I mean?
There's a place we can put it.
Okay.
For sure. Bring your pillows. I always forget a pillow. Does anybody else forget pillows when they go places?
Yes.
All right.
I know. Having campfires.
Campfires. John and Boyd, help me out on that. Are campfires allowed anywhere?
Yeah. I mean, it's not the fire restrictions are lifted in Arizona. So yeah, you can have fires on the beach.
Okay. Yeah, that's part of what we had is to have bring firewood. I actually didn't do that research. I didn't know if we had to find a place with a fire ring or whatever. So yeah, I mean, I remember last time I went, we had fire every night. So we'll be bringing firewood.
How cool does it get in the evening? Just thinking about sleeping outside.
I would have to do a little bit more research on that. During the days, it should be in the neighborhood of 80s, and at night it should be upper 60s.
Okay.
It could get a little cooler though. We're at the end of September, so it could cool down a little bit lower than that. So most sleeping bags are rated for, at least in the 50s. You should be absolutely comfortable.
Is it a safe assumption to assume that the staterooms will have bedding and pillows, or are you?
No, they do not have any bedding or pillows.
Okay, great, thank you.
No, you need to bring you need to bring a sleeping bag. Thank you for bringing that up, Michael. I didn't actually mention that. So you will want to bring blankets. I'll add that in here. Any blankets you want. John and Boyd, have you? I could be wrong on that. Are you guys familiar with that? I don't think it comes with bedding.
I don't think so either.
I don't think they do. I think they have like a cover over the mattresses that they can take off, but I don't remember them.
Yeah, and I didn't read anything about that, and I didn't even think about it. So thanks for bringing that up, Michael.
And all the years we rented houseboats, I slept on the roof.
Yeah, me too.
Pretty much all the years my dad owned one, I slept on the roof.
Well, it's the nicest. You got the stars. It's just amazing. You guys will see. Even the people with staterooms will be sleeping on the roof. Just you'll see.
Right. Yeah.
All right.
If you have a room, bring a pad.
Yeah. So Tuesday, we are going to go to the Rainbow Bridge. So this is going to be our day that we actually get in all 3 of the speedboats, and we're going to head up the lake and plan for a full day. So this is when you want to bring your snacks and bring your drinks and all of that stuff. I'll talk about drinks on boats and kind of how to plan for that. That'll be down here as well. Again, you guys can, I definitely recommend, you're not going to remember everything I said. So I recommend you going through this. The next day on Wednesday, we're going to try to do a hike. So, which is a hike to Lambert Canyon, which is like one of those slot canyons similar to Antelope Canyon. This is going to be an adventure and a half because it may not even happen. We might end up going over there and saying, oh, we can't do it. But we're going to try. It's a pretty simple boat ride over there. So even if we have to take the pontoon boat and do a couple trips with people with the pontoon boat, we'll see if we can make that happen. Again, we're going to do some movie nights, and then the last day we'll do breakfast. We'll pull the anchors, head back to the marina. We'll have lunch on board, and we'll arrive back into Wallweed Marina between 2 and 3. We've got to check in actually before that. We're going to plan ahead, so we might even be 1:30 to 2 o'clock. We'll check the houseboats in at 3. We should be able to unload, have everything clean on the way there, and be out of there by about 5 o'clock.
You guys are all driving home that night?
Yeah, we're driving to Mesquite, so that's the plan. We have rooms reserved in Mesquite. I have a bed for you reserved there too, if you still want to do that, but we can talk about it. That way, because 5 o'clock, we're not wanting to go all the way home. We're going to be tired. We're going to drive 3 hours to Mesquite, and we have a hotel. We can have a nice dinner. We have nice hotel rooms, and and then on Friday morning we can make the drive back to LA or Phoenix or wherever you live. And that's the plan.
Are you planning on bringing easy ups for the beach?
Yeah, I'm going to bring 2 easy ups.
Okay. Do you want me to bring? I have a couple of them. Do you want me to bring a couple extras?
It's always nice to sit on the beach and with feet in the water and have some shade. So if you have, I know you have room. So yeah, if you have a couple, bring a couple. Okay, I will. I also have one of those big ice chests. If you want me to bring it just to throw it on a boat for ice, that big white one. Yeah, I mean that might be really good because we could just bring it down empty that night when we load the houseboats and just fill it up with ice right there at the Wallweed Marina store.
That's right. That's what I was thinking. Okay, I'll throw it in the truck too.
That way we don't have to ask John to go get us ice every 2 days or every day.
Is it worth bringing small beach chairs, or is that just clutter on the boats when we're moving?
I don't know. What do you guys think, John?
Usually they have lawn chairs there.
Oh yeah,
So you
they
can
have
pick
the white stackable chairs
Right.
Okay.
on each boat. I forgot about that. So they do have the
You can
white.
Then you can take those and put those out on the beach easily.
Yep, that's right. That's
Thanks.
right. All right. So you guys get on here and look at your houseboat, who's on the boat. Get on here, and there's also documentation. So some people are people that really want to kind of learn about their boat, the floor plan and how it works and operating manuals and all that stuff. It's all in here. So come in here and check out your boat. I definitely recommend it. Boat rules and etiquette. So I do want to get into this. So this doesn't even have to be said. Let's all just respect each other. Let's respect each other's space. We definitely need to respect other members' boat. John, Julio, and Boyd are doing a major service to us to bring their boats and share their boats with us. Somebody that has really sandy feet or shoes on and jumps on someone's boat and scratches up their boat, that's just a no, 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 no. So, let's all respect. I just can't stress it enough because it always happens. Someone ends up drinking a bunch and then they just, they make a mess. So let's please respect people's boats. For drinks, one thing that I recommend, the cups that have the thermos type cups where you can unscrew them. I definitely recommend those because those are the ones where you can make drinks and take it on the boat and drink right out of the thermos and it doesn't spill. There's no solo cups on these boats because you will spill it the first time John hits the gas or Boyd hits the gas. So that's not going to happen. The other option is you can do a big Gatorade bottle. So I like the Gatorade bottles because the Gatorade bottles, you just drink a little Gatorade and then you pour your vodka in there and then you have a mixed drink and you don't even need a thermos because it's a Gatorade bottle. So that always works pretty well. So a bunch of people just came in the lobby, so apologize. So boat operators, you guys don't jump in people's boats and take off driving their boats. You will not make it home. So we are just going to have certain people that are allowed to drive the boats, especially the boat owners. And then for the rental boat, it's just going to be Jeffrey, myself, or Kevin that's going to be able to be insured and able to drive the boat. So we'll all have lots of fun, but let's follow that. If you want to watch a boating safety video, there's a link there. There's links on how to work the hot tub. I'm not going to go through the details there. Generator and AC information, water usage and drinking water. So we are going to bring bottled water. However, there is drinking water on board that they fill up as well for us. Toilets, don't flush any wipes, but everybody can read that part about it. There's a video here about how we park and anchor the houseboat. So if anybody's curious about how to do that, I definitely recommend watching that video. It'll show exactly what we're going to do when we stop and anchor the houseboats. And the last thing is just the CJ rules. We just want to respect each other. It's a big group. Ask people to drink in moderation or drink. If they drink in moderation. Know your limits. Sex, know what consent is. Don't run. It's just one of those things where we're in an environment where you're close together. Don't make somebody feel awkward. If it happens, it happens. Let's just say. But let's make sure that we just are respectful to each other is all I'm asking. All right, we have a bunch of people here, so I don't know if you can hear me anymore. But is there any other questions anybody has?
Hi, Chris, it's Mark. I've got a couple questions. When you were talking about boat etiquette, it sounded like you were talking not so much about the houseboat, but about the day boats. Is that true, or is that etiquette that you were talking about both for the houseboat and the day boat?
When I was talking about the boat etiquette, I was talking about the day boats. But I think the respect on boats should be both in the houseboat and the main boats. And as far as shoes go, and bringing sand in the boats, we shouldn't be bringing sand in the boats in the houseboats either. We should try to keep a clean place. So I would say that it's in both. As far as drinks, that's different. You know, you don't have to keep everything to close top, but not a bad idea, you know, so we don't have spills. So I'd say it was for the ski boats, but I think the same etiquette can go along with the houseboats as well. Is there anything specific you had issue with?
No, it was just in general.
Okay.
What should we expect in terms of mosquitoes or other bug modules?
I'm sorry, it got really loud in here. What'd you say?
What should we expect in terms
I'm gonna
of,
move real quick. Got a bunch of ladies behind us.
This meeting is being recorded.
Oh. All right, let's see if I can hear you now.
okay, what should we expect in terms of mosquitoes or other bug modules?
I've never had an issue there. John and Boyd, do you have any input on that?
No, I haven't either.
No, I mean, I would bring, you know, some off or whatever bug repellent, but there's, you know, they don't have scorpions, and you don't have to really worry about, you know, you might have some sand fleas here and there, but I think as low as that lake is, they're probably all gone. But it's never really a big thing. Like, yeah, I've never really experienced a real bad bug situation. So
like no worry about no CMs when sleeping outside?
No, because I don't think the only time it becomes an issue is if we're camping on a beach that has, you know, like vegetation on it, you might have some of those around. But I think we're planning on finding a pretty just sandy beach. So, and I would not, you know, if you guys are going, I think anybody that's just, if you're just doing open sleeping, you know, you probably would want to plan on sleeping on the boat at night. I mean, the rooftops are huge on those boats. You can sleep 25 people on one of them. So,
yep, and we have.
Okay.
So,
last question is, what about towels? Like
you need to bring your own towels and plan for all of your own linens, all of your own clothing, and all of your own towels.
Okay, those are my questions. Thank you.
Yeah. Who was that?
Mark.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Yeah, I only have one suggestion, and that is that we try to minimalize our trash because it attracts the bees and stuff, and we got to haul it off no matter what. So, but it doesn't take long to build that up.
Yeah. So when we're doing the food and stuff, we'll try to think about the trash. Of course, like alcohol cans and things like that, we can smash those or whatever. But
right. Well, I know, you know, we always did the dishes. You know, it was just a steadfast rule. You know, you just didn't eat off paper plates and, you know, make a big, because the trash just got to be, you know, I mean, you'd have in a day, you could have 10 black garbage bags full of trash that have got to get hauled off somewhere. So,
yeah, so each of the houseboats has plenty of dishes and silverware and everything, and that was definitely the plan, to utilize those dishes. So I think that's a good point. I think I might have had on here paper plates and stuff, but maybe we should take those off. I think that's a good point, Boyd. No, I don't.
It wouldn't be a bad idea to bring some, but I would suggest, like, for your, like, breakfast and dinner should definitely be served off of the utensils and off of the plates and bowls and stuff that are on the boats, and then everybody do your dishes. Those houseboats, Chris, for the general water that comes into, like, the sinks and stuff, isn't it just lake water that's run through the filtration systems on the boat? It doesn't draw that.
Do you know that, John?
Tank, does it?
No, I don't.
I know that they have big tanks. They have two different huge tanks. One of them's drinking water, and then there's a recirculation tank that is the lake water. And the lake water is what comes in for the flushing the toilets and all of that.
Right.
It's in the video.
Yeah. Okay. I'll look into it. But I know the one we own, everything everything on the boat except for the drinking water came out of the lake. Like everything that came out of the sinks, the showers, everything.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Ran into a filtration system, so you didn't have to worry about running out of water.
No. Yeah, you're correct. It's just the drinking water that's in the tank.
Right. Okay.
So, but all of that water, the dishwater, the shower water, the toilet water, all go into a holding tank.
Yeah,
Right.
right. It doesn't dump back in the lake, does it?
No, it doesn't dump back in the lake, but it's a massive holding tank. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Chris,
All right.
did you say that it's likely during the course of the week we'll end up going back to the marina? And if so, if one ends up drinking a little bit more than they brought, is there an opportunity to like buy more stuff at the marina? Like,
Yep, there's a marina store.
Stuff. Okay. So if we run out, that's not really a problem because we'll end up back at the marina at some point.
Yeah, well, Boyd will need to go back to the marina at least a couple times, and John might need to go back 10 times. So we'll see. Just kidding.
Beer run.
Well, yeah. I mean, every day there's gonna have to go. There'll be a boat go to the marina every day. Never fails.
Yeah, it always happens. Even if you plan on having everything
it's nothing
you need.
but an ice cream run.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
It's time for ice cream. Get in the boat.
Let's go. Very typical.
All right, guys. Yeah. Is there any other questions? I apologize for all the noise. They told me they had a business center here, which means that it's quiet, but that was not what happened. So I did record this, so you could watch another hour if you want, or just go through the packet. I'm sure you missed some things. Go through that and go in to the Excel sheet or the spreadsheet and just put your name in those spots. Something to cook, something to clean, something to bring. If everybody contributes and everybody brings something and everybody pitches in, this is going to be a breeze and it's going to be a freaking blast. So I'm excited to do this with you guys. Again, I'm available if you have any additional questions on the side. Just shoot me a PM, a private message, and I'm willing to chat with you as well. I just wanted to get everybody together so I didn't get 30 people asking a ton of questions. So I think this is really good. Again, I really appreciate John and Boyd and those that have the experience coming with us, and they're going to be our daddies on the trip. If you will, they're going to teach us a lot. So. I appreciate it. You guys have a great night, and again, reach out to me if you have any questions, and we'll see you guys soon.
All right.
Thank you, Chris.
Okay.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you.